Man, I can't believe I've seen the light. I've seen the error of my ways. Guys, this is going to be an episode of First Impressions where I'm going to retract everything that I said about my review about the newest season of House of Cards. Here's why. So, when I first watched it, I thought initially that it was a show that would be a prelude to more seasons of House of Cards now that Kevin Spacey has essentially committed sexual assault and career suicide. But when I first watched it, I thought it was that. It was a prelude to more stuff to come, to more content. Then I actually looked back and I looked actually in detail and I noticed that, yeah, they all said that it was going to be the last season of House of Cards. And with that in mind, I have a totally new first impression. I have a second impression. With all that I just said in mind, that season sucked, okay? It sucked, bro. Do you see I'm mad. I'm thinking about like the time I wasted in the hopes that I got more stuff out of this show. I feel betrayed. But I'm going to go into, by the way, spoiler alert. I'm going to spoil the shit out of this show. Now that I have no investment into it whatsoever. This show is going to get spoiled for you. This is probably going to be my longest episode, but in order to do a proper retraction, I have to be thorough in everything. So, let's start from the beginning. One of the things that I said about what I liked about the House of Cards newest season, which is also their last season, was for the fact that the show kind of shouldered a lot of the weight, which was kind of provided by Kevin Spacey being the main guy. Now, I'm glad he's not making money anymore, or whatever may be the case. But I am glad that even though the show was essentially at its end, I still felt like I could watch it. Like everyone else in the show, every other character, all the other actors, they shouldered a lot of that weight that was kind of, made free by Kevin Spacey not being around. Now that I know that they basically just did a fucking jerk-off season, like, oh, they should have just cut the show. Just cut the show, don't make any more shit, and stop trying to tie off your... I don't know who I'm talking to. Whoever made and directed and wrote this show, I'm talking to you, okay? Don't fucking do that. Because if there's viewers out there who are as dumb as me and didn't know that there would not be another season of House of Cards, then I wouldn't have watched it, bro. I would not have watched it. So that says something about the show. The show was good enough, this season I mean, that the newest season kept me watching because I had a false hope that there would be something in the future. But had I known it was not going to happen, I would have quit episode 3. Hands down. Episode 3, for sure. The spoilers. Here they come. So between this season, the newest season, and the last season, they just wrote Kevin Spacey's, aka Frank Underwood's, death. They just wrote it off. He died off screen. And all the characters are picking up from where the fake scenarios ended off. And then, with that in mind, with that whole, like, off-screen death write-off... Sorry, guys. I'm really emotional right now. Given all the off-screen deaths and just a whole new situation that the viewer is thrown into without any kind of context, without any kind of... There is context from previous seasons, but the stakes were kind of artificially risen. I didn't feel as invested in the characters because of the fact there was so much content and story development and character development that was left out. And I felt that was unfair. Why? Because I use someone else's Netflix account, and I feel like it is unfair to them that the people paying for this original content get this bullshit, okay? Another thing that I found kind of faulty with the show was that given the information that this is the last season, I think season 6, 7, it doesn't fucking matter, it's over, bros and broettes, but the acting was still good, okay? So why not just do a spin-off? Why not just cover some other character's story and not have it be central? I mean, that would basically defeat the whole purpose of House of Cards, but don't lead on stupid people like me, okay? Don't do that, creators of House of Cards. Another thing that I found kind of faulty with the latest season is the ending of it. Claire Underwood murders one of the most beloved characters of the show. That's the part I won't spoil, because I want to jerk you the same way that season jerked me. You know, it was all just a farce. It was all something that I had. And it is hubris. It is my own stupidity. And I admit that. But you know what? If a pothole is full of lava, it's not on me as the city to just leave it there. I got, as Netflix, as a city, as someone... This is a really bad analogy. Anyways, what I'm going to say is, I still thought it was a good show with the caveat that there would be more stuff to come. The fact that there isn't more stuff to come, that is something you definitely need to keep in mind while watching it, because it will just make you not want to watch the whole thing. The acting is the only redeeming quality. The story, now that I think about it, the story, all the stuff that develops with Russia and the covert operations that the CIA has, it actually does take an overwhelming kind of new wave feminism approach, with the whole cabinet of the White House just being like hardcore vacuum fired, and then the new cabinet being replaced with all female. That wouldn't... I don't understand how that would happen. Like, part of the charm of House of Cards was that it was faux realistic. It was kind of like, you can see, like, yeah, I can see that happening. The bullshit that happened in this show, no way. No way. And the only reason why I would say Yahweh was because if there was stuff to come in new seasons, then I would fucking watch it! Anyway, so that's my retraction, first impressions of House of Cards. Thank you for watching. This is Any Flavor You Want 420.